Hey, welcome to the third episode of the Hera Press Box. I'm Clay,
I'm Alyssa.
and we're kind of getting the hang of things. We'll see how tonight goes. Our second Sunday of broadcasting, podcasting. We're still kind of figuring out what we are, but we have some topics we'll go through today. I don't know if Alyssa has a good place to start. Anything you want to start off with?
Well, I was just gonna jump right into the dash, but we can kind of ease ourselves into that if you want to.
Okay.
I have a whole slew of things, actually, not just what kind of we've been talking about with the dash. But saw today, if you're good with jumping in right in with the dash, if you're good with that.
Yeah, let's go.
Carly Lloyd will be back in 2 weeks. So I think that that's going to be obviously a step in the right direction when you're bringing the best player back onto your team. And they've only scored, I think, 6 goals all season, which is a topic for maybe later on, just because that is definitely something that they haven't executed well, especially as of late. So that's good. Good news for them. Bad news is their back line still sucks. So I don't know. I know we were kind of talking about it earlier about kind of what's next. So we can either, I mean, I have some ideas, but if you want to go first, I am good with that.
Yeah. My first comment is, and this goes back to pre-draft. You mentioned Carly Lloyd coming back. Well, that's exciting, and that's good news for the dash. But at the same time, in my belief, it shouldn't even be happening, and that Carly Lloyd should not be a member of the dash.
Yeah. Are you referencing your tweet from earlier?
Yeah, and it even makes more sense to me now that to trade Lloyd and those 2 other players that I had mentioned. I'm not even sure if they've got double digit minutes this season. And I know Kadisha Buchanan left, and so you're down to Christina Gibbons or Mandy Freeman, but I mean that's a starting caliber defender, which is better than what you've had so far out of Lloyd. So that's where my thoughts stem from, at least.
Yeah, I came across you kind of like quoted your tweet or whatever, and I came across it earlier this afternoon, and I just kind of went through, and I think Buchanan would have been a perfect person to bring on. I think I was a little bit nervous with you taking or putting Lloyd into that trade talk, simply because of what we've been seeing so far, especially in the last 2 weeks. Ojai hasn't put the ball in the net and has had at least 2 weeks, or not this past week, but the weekend before, she had a handful of good chances to put the ball in the net, and she didn't. Not that necessarily Carly Lloyd is gonna all of a sudden just tally off 5 goals in a game, but you never know. She could have another World Cup game in her. But looking at their back line, what they've given up, I think they've given up like 16 goals so far this season. I think I would take a defender over Carly Lloyd right now, which is really difficult to say, but Buchanan would have been an amazing addition to the team.
Yeah, and that not only hurts the dash, it hurts the league. That her and Ashley Lawrence went overseas to play. I was looking forward to them 2 playing, but it'll be and in a way it'll be nice to watch them kick our butts on the Canadian team, which will be a future podcast for me. That I think Canada could run off a couple gold medals and World Cups in a row.
Yeah, it's surprising that they haven't.
Right.
And we'll see. We'll see in the next week. Thursday's podcast is going to be fun just to see how we do this week. It's kind of the same problem that the Dash are having right now with our back line. Jill Ellis has been moving some people around, which I don't think is a bad idea. I think obviously testing the waters is a good idea. Just not sure I really like it that much so far. Didn't work out too well for us in the She Believes Cup. Kind of got annihilated within that whole tournament. So it's going to be interesting to see what she has up her sleeve, if anything, if she is still going to go on this messed up back line. I don't want to say messed up, but not a perfect back line.
Yeah,
sure.
Right. Kind of just Becky and whoever else wants to play that day.
Right.
Back line.
Yep, exactly. And now that they don't have Ali Krieger, it's just even worse.
Right.
That's my plug for tonight. Just had to toss that in there.
Back to the dash, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sorry.
And what's that?
I said sorry. I got us off track there.
No, you're fine. That's that's a little plug. You're right. What can I do? What's the next move for the dash? And to be honest, it's fire sale. That's the next option, right, in my opinion. And that kind of leads me into the weekly daily report. And I was kind of preparing, getting ready, thinking about, it's kind of what can you get from Rachel? What could you get for her? What could you get for Ojai? And then you work your way from there, because you have those two star players. And Rachel got drafted 6th overall. Honest opinion, unbiased, maybe a little biased, but you could trade her for a first round six overall pick, if not higher than that. I mean, she's proved herself in the league. She's now proved that she can handle herself on the defensive end as well as scoring. So I think you have that going for that. It's time to sell if you're the dash, and that's Ojai, that's Becky. Even though Becky has been terribly disappointing, I don't know how much you're going to be able to get. That's a package deal if you're sending her away. You had your chance with Bianca Henninger selling her, and instead they just released her. And that's just another problem that I brought up on Twitter.
Yes, I saw that one.
So it's a bad situation, and that we brought up Barca last week, and the possibility that if they didn't create their own team, would buy a team in the U.S. And now you kind of start to get an idea that if there was a team to buy, they do have an academy in Houston.
Right. Yep.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm with you there on that. The other two solutions that I kind of just thought of spur of the moment, probably about an hour ago. So I know we have already kind of talked about this. Aaron Smith, what's going on with her? We're bringing Carly Lloyd back, so we still have to release a player, if I'm not mistaken. If that's incorrect, then I apologize. But so we bring on Carly, so we got to get rid of someone. If we bring on anybody else, it means that we got to get rid of someone, which at the end of the day, not necessarily a bad thing, depending on what an Aaron Smith can bring to the table. So we're really not sure what's going on with her. I don't think she's even been with the team at all.
Not yet. Okay. Maybe this last week, but yeah.
Okay. So a week with the team, I guess. So that's kind of up in the air. The other thing that I came up with, it's including adding a player. So it kind of gets a little bit messy because you got to get rid of someone. Kaylin Kyle. She's just kind of been chilling in Atlanta. So, and I know she retired from international play. Obviously don't know what kind of physical shape she's in. I'm assuming not terrible. Can't be anything worse than we already have. And she has played for the Canadian team. The Canadian team is, top 3, top 5 overall. So to say that she would be a bad addition wouldn't be correct in my mind, at least. But those are kind of the two things that I thought of.
Yeah, if you're the dash front office, I would say anything is better than what they're doing right now. So, as you have any more opinions, I was going to go look at the all-white kit, Chris Henderson's draft board for 2018.
Yeah, go for it.
I have not looked at it, I don't think. Yeah, and I was also Daly was 6th overall behind Sonnet, Emily Sonnet, and then Rocky Rodriguez, Westfall, Carson Pickett, and then Carrie Ricaro, who's also on the dash. Those were the 5 in front of her. Carrie's up there too. she's obviously she's not going to get that same value back. She could probably get you a draft pick but that's.
Well, the way it's going now, we're going to have the first pick. So.
Yeah. And I don't think they've traded that. Is that?
I don't know. They better not have because they're going to need it.
I knew they were making a lot of questionable decisions.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to add on?
No, I think that's the only thing. Well, as far as that goes, as far as the defense goes, yes. My other little plug, Sarah Hagan needs to get some more minutes. Come on. She played 20 minutes yesterday, and she was the only one who really did anything on offense. That was a positive move. I felt like Ohio was kind of struggling yesterday from just kind of what I was paying attention to, especially at the end. Once Mal put in that goal, it was pretty much over. But they subbed Hagan in, I think, around the 70th minute. And she did pretty much what you could ask of her at that time. And for a team that hasn't been putting the ball in the back of the net, I think you got to switch things up at top too. Obviously, back line needs help, but if your offense is only scoring 6 goals through 8 games,
right.
It gets a little bit testy up front too. So I think it's a combination of both things. So that's why I'm kind of on the bandwagon of Carly Lloyd coming back and not necessarily taking your viewpoint just because of that.
So let's go draft for a second. Let's say Dash have number 1 pick. It's pretty clear number 1. So let's say the Dash give the number 1 pick and they don't pick this girl, then it's a pretty bad move, and she's a midfielder.
Right.
So that, what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Andy Sullivan.
Yeah.
So already with a midfield of Brian, Lloyd, and Denise O'Sullivan, and Andresina, who all 4 are starting midfielders in the NWSL. I mean, you move them to any other team, and they got a pretty good shot at starting.
Right.
So you also got to start thinking about that. There's a couple Penn State forwards who are good players. Krause and Schaefer, both scorers, that's for sure, coming from that program as well.
Right.
But then again, at the same time, if unless they make moves, then they don't need forwards, and then you go defense, and I don't think I reckon that Jesse Scarpa is number 2 on All White Kids.
Okay.
Big board.
Yeah. I'm on there.
I'm sure if I figured out what number she was on North Carolina, I would recognize her, because for some reason that's how I recognize players.
It's the easiest way, man.
Yeah, right?
So, essentially, if the Dash have the first pick, it's kind of ridiculous.
They're out of their mind not to take Sullivan.
Right. You might as well just stop playing the game at that point. Your front office needs to leave at that point. So my thinking is, just let's, at this point, we're going to be in top 1, 2, or 3 pick. I don't think there's really a chance of us getting.
Not with Pugh coming on for the Spirit too, which is going to get them another 4 wins this year at least. Yeah.
Right. So you kind of just hang on to this year, which sucks because you're struggling.
That's what they did last year.
Right. Yeah. So you just kind of hang on. You essentially don't want to tank. I don't want to say tank. I hate when people are, should this team tank? Whatever. I don't like that. But tank in a way where you're not tanking and you're still playing hard. And if you're going to play hard and keep losing, then I guess you can deal with it. Then.
So if you do that, are you playing Jane Campbell?
Don't get me. Oh, that's a whole nother topic, Clay. Because I was thinking about that yesterday watching the game.
Because she played earlier this year, and you want to talk about looking bad in your debut. Even though she has, tremendous talent, and she'll be the keeper of the U.S. in the future, but is she ready?
Well, she's only going to be ready if she gets more minutes. Practice is only going to do you so much.
Yeah, and ego can only bend for so long.
Oh, she's got an ego?
I mean, everybody has a confidence, and when you give up 3 goals in half an hour, then
yeah, and she didn't get called up for these next 2 games for the U.S., which is understandable because she's not the starting keeper. But what I was going to say, and I'll come back to Jane. That's a different topic. It's a whole different topic for me. So you draft, let's say we get first pick. You draft Sullivan. Before you draft Sullivan, I think you get kind of what you said at the beginning of this season is you get rid of Lloyd and you bring on someone for defense because you can't not draft Andy. There's just no way that you can do that. So if you're going to bring on another offensive person whose ceiling is ridiculously high and she has pretty much already kind of solidified that she can play on the national team, should obviously be able to play in the NWSL and be a significant impact, then I think that's definitely one way to go. But that also begs the question of it depends on if we really want to kind of essentially tank or not.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get the first pick, you're not getting Andy Sullivan. And if you do, you're the luckiest team in the world.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Jane Campbell? Or is that a loaded question?
Yeah, it is. That is. I don't know. You can. I mean, there's a couple teams in the league that could use a goalie. Do you trade? I mean, you could trade Lydia,
right,
for maybe a first round pick just for her. Even
yeah,
might come down to that.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen from Lydia, I haven't been overly impressed. I think the first goal yesterday, she might have had a chance of getting, or I thought she should have gotten. Especially, obviously, backline plays a lot of it, a part in it to score in like 2 minutes into the game, which is just essentially demoralizing at that point. And then you're not really getting anything from your offense. So just kind of adding on top of it, I think it's something that they need to address, the fact that, you drafted Jane. She's played a couple games, a game or 2 maybe?
Yep.
I don't remember how much she's played.
It's 1 or I want to say just 1, but it could be 2.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And I think at this point, if she's not in net maybe in the next week or 2, then you really need to start addressing it or let her go somewhere else where she can play, get the minutes, just because, like I said, we've given up 16 goals at this point, which isn't, I mean, it's not necessarily terrible. It definitely could be worse, but that's giving up 2 goals a game, and then you're only scoring 6 goals out of it.
I had 0 goals.
Yeah. So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, we will see, and I'm sure we'll talk about this more in the future. So, why don't I'll go ahead and go through the scores now.
Yeah, that works.
And we'll go switch on some other topics. So it'll be Florida, Oklahoma in the championship series at Oklahoma City. Both teams went 3-0 en route to the best of 3 series, which starts tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. All 4 matches at Roland Garros ended in upset form today. Wozniacki and figured out how to pronounce her name, I think. Somehow it's Mendinovic defeat top 10 foes, and Venus Williams is headed home, losing in 3 sets. 4 more matches tomorrow to finalize the quarterfinal field. 5 blank sheets on the pitch this weekend. Rookies Ashley Hatch and Mallory Pugh score. The Dash fall to last place, and the Red Stars finish another game with points, stay within striking distance. The Lynx score 100. They're now 7-0. San Antonio loses again despite 27 from Kayla McBride. They're 0-7. The Wings lose twice. 0-7. The Wings lose twice. The Liberty will win twice. Jumping Phoenix in the standings. The Washington Mystics takes the game for second place from the Atlanta Dream. In softball, the Akron Racers salvaged one game from the 3 games set in Chicago, 7-5. Emily Allard finished the series 6 for 12 in the leadoff role for the Bandits. Big Ten athletes just a month ago, Sarah Grunewagen and Megan Betza, combined for 3 2/3 innings today. Betza surrendered 3 runs. A little college basketball news. Jessica Shepard announced that she would be transferring from Nebraska. She has committed that she will be playing at Notre Dame for her final 2 years of eligibility, which is a huge get for Notre Dame. And that's probably 2 seasons of All-American play from the 6'4" forward who was an All-Big Ten selection at Nebraska. Ashley Kelsick and Gabby Gregory are leaving Wisconsin. The transferred senior guard from Boston College they're both going to stay in school but just not play basketball. Gabby Gregory was a freshman last year. And not the highest recruit, 3-star, I do believe Gregory was. So it's not a huge loss for a slumping Wisconsin program that is now down to 11 players on the active roster. 4 players transfer from Rutgers. 3 of their top scorers, including those 4. Vivian Stringer continues to revamp that program. 2 of them are going to UNC Wilmington, 1 to Cal Bakersfield, and 1 to VCU. Tori McCoy, Ohio State to Marquette, and another Buckeye also leaving the Ohio State program.
What is going on in the Big Ten?
I have no idea. That's and Tori McCoy is a good ball player. She had a great year and was a highly touted recruit, and for her to go to Marquette is kind of surprising.
She's going from where did you say she was from? OSU?
Oh, yep, Ohio State to Marquette. And this is, a former UConn recruit, this Tori McCoy. Really? Gino Ariema, she's actually from St. Thomas More, which is up in Champaign, so an hour north of me. And Gino Ariema went to her games there. So that's surprising, yeah.
Well, Marquette women's program is on the up for sure. They had a really good season this past year.
Well, once they beat Wisconsin, then I'll listen to you.
That's interesting though that it was 2 players you say or 3 that
2
are leaving
from Wisconsin.
The program?
Yep. They're leaving the program, staying in
school.
Which kind of hints at something internal, but I won't speculate.
Oh. Well, you know who I blame for that one, so.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, some bad for me happened today. So I watched the Bailey Landry special. I don't know if you caught the Bailey Landry special.
I did not catch it, but I know the backstory.
Yeah, pretty spectacular. That's a worth a 10, 12-minute sit down, watch. Great story.
Yep.
After the special, though, on ESPN, 2 analysts, man and a woman, and the man talked about how Bailey's going to become a PE teacher. And then the woman stepped in and she said, but Bailey's softball career might not be over. She actually just got, quote, drafted by a team in the National Pro Fast Pitch League in Texas, end quote. That is from the worldwide leader in sports. Obviously, no idea who the team was that drafted her.
Yeah.
Which was the Texas Charge. She said it was in Texas. There's also San Antonio has a team. They're also in Texas. But, why would we spend 2 minutes looking up what team or that it's the Texas Charge or what the league is actually called or how that's going or anything? Why would we, it's not like we self-proclaim ourselves as the all-knowing sports world that there is. So I don't know why I'm giving them a hard time because obviously they need to worry about, Steph and LeBron are playing tonight, so they need to focus on that.
Oh yeah, obviously.
If they had said the Texas Chargers, record from last year, or maybe a stat from, or maybe that the league just started this year, that would have taken away some of their analytic time of the NBA. So
yeah, exactly. It would have taken about 10 seconds away from that, and that's just too much. Just too much. Right. And I don't know if we want to dive into that whole conversation, if you want to keep going, because I could keep going on with this one.
Yeah, no, I'll pass on that. That's that's more of a Saturday night conversation.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. So speaking of that, me and Marcus, so my roommate, we need to. I don't know if we even told you this either. We're going to start a bar, but it's going to be called the Title IX bar, and it's going to be all women's sports on all the TVs, and we'll have all the subscriptions bought for, and that'll be great.
That's going to be. You can count me in there.
Yeah, look forward to that. Also, on the bad news aside, and relating to Bailey Landry, LSU did get beat last night, and that was pretty rough to watch. Constance Quinn. She was, and even Bailey.
Bailey,
yeah. Constance was, as soon as she hit the ground ball, I think that was the end of her hopes, and Bailey in the dugout, and that was tough. But I guess I'm pretty glad that I become a fan of that team. There's a lot of younger players there that I enjoy watching, and it'll be fun the next couple of years to see what Beth Torino and the Tigers have in store.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. I think college softball has definitely, we've talked about this already. It's on the rise. Softball in general is on the rise.
Yeah, you sent me the ratings today if you want to touch on that.
Yeah, so it's just interesting. I wanted to see kind of, because college baseball is going on right now too. They got their World Series going on, so I just kind of wanted to see what was going on with them as well. And there's pictures for ESPN and ESPN2, and it ranks essentially your sports center, your around the horn, and then your college softball. And college softball is at the top for ESPN and ESPN2 as far as viewership. It's more than college baseball is getting right now. It's just consistently more than everything else that they got going on. So that's great to see just in general. And then points to the fact that softball looks like it is on the rise.
Yeah, and it's great. And that is something we talked about, which is, and it's pretty cool to see happen right before our eyes. And it's one thing that I praise ESPN on that they have shown as many games as they have, and really developed stories and the broadcast and personalization of the game, which they don't need to take the time in, and you don't expect them to. Like I said, it's one of those things where they don't do it for so long, and they finally do the right thing, and it's the greatest thing ever, even though it's kind of just, no, that makes sense. That should happen. But we're getting there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I had a question. So the Red Stars have you get on there and you can bid on items. And one of these days I'm gonna get a jersey.
Yeah.
Well, today they had Alyssa Mott's signed cleats. And they're coral cleats, so I'm like, it's the coolest thing ever. I don't know why. She's the only one that wears those kind of cleats, so it's like, oh yeah, that's obviously Alyssa Mott's, but it had a sign there, and it was $75 was the highest bid. So I didn't check to see. They ended the 70th minute of the game, but I didn't check to see what they got up to. So, question for you is, you pick the item, you pick the player, you pick a maximum price. Give me an idea of your maximum price for, say, a signed jersey by said player, or signed cleats by said player, or sign anything by a player to be named.
Well, it's interesting when it comes to things being signed for me. I love getting signatures. It was a big deal when I was younger. But when I was younger, I didn't really have to spend the money. The signatures that I got were me just hanging out. It was at Lambeau Field, and able to get signatures that way. So I'm more of a person who would like to go to the actual event and get something signed.
Okay, but how many times has the opportunity arose that Alyssa Maud says, anybody want these cleats?
Right. But
that's never happened to me.
It depends.
Alyssa, if you're watching, next game I'm at.
To pick a player is going to be difficult for me.
Sarah Hagen.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna.
How much are you paying for a signed jersey?
However much I need to.
$250 is the highest bid right now.
I mean, probably.
Oh, I'll bid $315.
Okay. See, I'm someone who doesn't make a lot of money, so we're talking a lot. That's a lot of money for me right now. But I don't know. A signed jersey. It would. It's interesting that her cleats were only, let's just say they ended at 75.
Oh, I highly doubt they did, but
I highly doubt they did. Do you think they got up to 250?
Possibly. I would say 150.
Yeah, I would say 150 was pretty much my maximum. Let's go with 150.
Hopefully that's not being disrespectful, or else she just turned this podcast off.
We should probably
220.
It was 220.
220 sold.
Dang. Those were cleats though. If they're cleats and they're nice cleats, then yes.
$900 for a Kristen Press signed jersey. I'm not paying $900 for anybody's jersey.
No.
$110 for Michelle Dalton jersey.
$900.
$900. And that's just for. I mean, it's just a regular. It's the alternate kit for the Red Stars. $900. 53 bids.
Wow. Back to Sarah Hagen. I would not want a signed jersey because I hate the Dashes jersey, which is one of the things that I cannot stand.
Which one?
With the white on top and the orange on the bottom, the blue and the orange is way better.
Yep, I agree.
But the white and the orange, it looks terrible.
Speaking of uniforms, shout out to Phil Hecken. I had tweeted him before, just personal. I don't usually I send him, and then there's Paul Lucas with UniWatch, and I'll send them different stuff every once in a while. Actually, I guess LSU softball wore light blue helmets for ovarian cancer awareness, and I had screenshotted a picture while I was watching them on ESPN3, sent that to Phil and Paul, and they both retweeted it. And I just I Google searched my name one day, and my name was on Google because they had given me credit for sharing that picture to them. Well, now Phil has must have been interested in the logos of those 4 teams that we went through last week, and I kind of figured he would think that was kind of cool, and he retweeted that and gave us a little bit of pub. That was cool to see.
Yeah. Only upward to go.
Yep, that's right. Yep, next step is talking to the commission.
Yeah. Getting yourself a team.
Yeah, right.
Buying the Houston Dash. There you go.
Yeah, I might have to.
Might have to save the team and save the league.
Yeah. Do you get a chance? Do you watch any Caroline today? Did you wake up like I did? Did you wake up at 4 to watch Caroline?
No, but I woke up early this morning and I saw that you were watching it 4 hours before I woke up, and I said that's some pretty good dedication right there. But I was gonna ask you, how did she look?
Oh,
I don't like that.
Best I've ever seen her play.
Oh, okay, good. That's what I like.
And obviously, my hopes were pretty low considering it is the French Open. It is right. Caroline Wozniacki. But I zero unforced errors. I mean, that's a Caroline Wozniacki set, and that's that's how she wins matches. That's what she did today. If she plays like that, I predicted Mendenovic to win, but
wow, you win against your girl. That's what you get.
Well, that's usually that's how it usually goes. It's either I'm either right or I'm happy. That's one of those two of my predictions. So, what do you think about U.S. tennis? What are we looking at now that Venus is out? What's Venus got left in her? You think Serena's going to come back?
Oh, if Serena doesn't come back, that will be the shock of the century in my mind. So we'll see with that. Venus, I'm assuming Venus will play at least another year. Assuming that Serena comes back, they'll play kind of one more year on the tour together. Maybe play doubles again. I don't know if they played doubles at all last year or not, but I just kind of assume that they have pretty much for the last couple years here. So I have a feeling she's got another year in her. And that's obviously, at this point, she has the skill set. The skill set isn't all of a sudden going to leave her. It's more or less, does she want to play? Does she want to play another year? Or not? Is she satisfied with where she's at? I mean, what is she ranked 10th right now? So to say that the skill set's not there, that she couldn't do it for more than a year, in my mind would be an unfair statement.
I bet she can't.
You don't think she can go another year?
I don't think she gets to another round of 16.
I didn't say that she was going to get anywhere. I was just saying she's going to play. I wasn't predicting anything with that one. But overall, yeah. Go ahead.
Other Americans?
Yeah, so kind of going back to that, Bethany Mattek-Sands, I've been a fan of as of, I don't know, a handful of years now.
Uh-huh.
So she played Sam Stosur a couple days ago, and Stosur was going to be one that I had brought up about possibly winning the French because she's always kind of that dark horse, great athlete type of player. And then Stosur beats Bethany, and then Stosur, I do believe, lost to an unranked player. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, Thanks for showing up the next round. So that was pretty disappointing. But I think the U.S. has some really good young talent, but just kind of harnessing that talent and being able to play not a perfect match of tennis, not a Wozniacki type of match, but at least a decent match. And being able to hone the passion. Coco's got a lot of passion in her, which I'm totally on board with. I like it. But honing that to be a positive thing and not affecting her play in a negative way. But it's going to be interesting to see Williams sisters. Like you said, how long does Venus have? How much more can we expect from Serena? I mean, she's clearly the number one player in the world, even not playing right now. So for her to come back and dominate, how long is she going to dominate for again?
Yeah. Yeah, it's we could be at a turning point, right?
Right. Yep. And I think we are.
Yeah. No, and I think that's probably a good place to leave that topic as well. We'll just kind of see what happens. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have anything else?
I'm just looking here. You pretty much covered everything that I had written down. So I'm good.
Okay. There were a few things that I wanted to run through just whenever we had time, and now that we have, 3 minutes here to finish up a few things, I wanted to run through and see if you had seen some things I had picked up on. Alicia Chapman. Don't know if you saw her tweet about the weakest straight red call, piss poor by the official.
Oh, definitely did that. But that sounds great.
That tweet was taken down.
No way.
But that was funny to catch that one. What else you got? A couple weeks ago got a chance to watch Katie Johnson play Seattle, I believe, on the rain. USC product who had a tremendous college cup and wasn't a great prospect, but if it's Seattle, I believe it's Seattle. Seattle took a chance on her, drafted her maybe third round, maybe second round. She looked really good. I watched her play a couple weeks ago. And I think she got in this week, maybe even had a shot on goal against they played the Dash, right? So no, they just played the Red Stars. Seattle did today. So I've been impressed by her so far. I think. Did I have anything else?
Is that all that you got?
I think so. What? So we pitch the Hera Press Twitter on here. You and I also both have a Twitter. Well, so say somebody wants to follow you, or you want to get a couple extra personal follows. What's all on your Twitter radar? How's your pie chart breakdown of what you talk about on there?
Pretty much breaks down half and half to half sports, half puppies. So if you're on board with that, definitely follow me. I pretty much cover anything and everything, stretching from women's sports to the men's side as well. But yeah, that's pretty much the majority of my social media. And maybe a couple pictures of my little cousins thrown in there every once in a while.
Yeah, there you go. So you cover about it all. Yeah, and I got the sports side of things. All maybe a couple times a week. I'll throw some politics in there, so that's keep you on your toes there, as well as maybe the most random stuff, because that's all that goes through my head. And you'd probably think it was some song lyrics or some weird thing I read on the side of a underground tunnel. I don't know what's going on my head. So no, but you can follow us there. You can follow the Hera Press. We have this YouTube channel that I just found out if you subscribe, it shows up on your email that you can watch us live, which was pretty cool. One day.
Right.
So that's on there. We figured, what about podcast? We're anywhere closer to, have you done any much?
So it's going to be an interesting thing. I think if we really wanted to get it into a podcast, throw it onto iTunes type of deal, we're going to get it from what I've researched. And if anybody's watching who knows anything about podcasting, let us know the easiest way to get it on there. But it seems like you need to get a program to where we'd be able to record ourselves. So not necessarily being live like we are right now. And then basically we need iTunes approval to put it on there every time, which can take some time because it's not like they're getting one podcast a day.
Right. Yeah. So we have that, which might come to fruition. We'll see. Also, I kind of want to start writing articles, maybe a little bit more opinionated, and might not always be approved by Alyssa, but I'll get that up and running. And if I do come to create our first post, I'll put that up on Twitter. Alyssa, you can join in on that if you ever want to. Also, we're going to start working on having guests on, and got a few people in mind that we'll get in contact with and asking me a few questions. One question for me, and what we got? How many people are watching this right now? Maybe 4.
If we're lucky.
We had 10 views on the second YouTube.
I saw that.
I was only 6 of them.
God,
so
Clay.
I have to edit. I watch these all over again and make sure I'm keeping us on track.
How much time do you have on your hands?
Just enough not to fall asleep. My question. There's an NCAA commercial that says gender doesn't play sports, athletes do. Is that Casey Short shooting the soccer ball?
Oh,
somebody answer that question. That's it for me.
I was wondering. Please answer that, someone.
Please answer. That's it for me, though. That's all I want.
That's all you want. All right. Well, we should hopefully have a good show Thursday night. Really dependent on that USA game, I think, on how that goes. I have a very bad feeling. But like I said, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. No comment. We'll see. That's all I want. Casey Short, I don't know. Casey, somebody.
It's got to be, right?
I think it is. I don't know. She just said I'm over it. I'm like, but are you Casey Short or not? Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, about 10 o'clock on Thursday night, we'll be same place and talking about different stuff.
All right. Good night.
That's it for me. Thanks for stopping by. Hair Press Box.